Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our August Artistic Masterclass. My name is Dr. Marianne East. I'm the Artistic Director for Lifelong Learning and Research here at Encore. And I am so excited that you've joined us this evening. We're doing something a little new, but I want to shout out for a minute, and I think she's here tonight, is Marcy Medich, who has been taking Tai Chi for I don't know how long, but introduced us to her instructor. And unfortunately, her instructor was not able to join us, but he introduced us to one of his students, Joel Timmons. Who will be leading not just the master class this evening. We're using this as a kickoff and a teaser for his Tai Chi class that he will be doing for Encore University this fall. So if you are interested in Encore University, that's our online learning platform. He will be teaching Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration for Encore University will come out on September 4th, and classes will start the week of October 6th. So we kick off our singing groups first and we get them underway. And then we start our Encore University courses. And through our generous grants from AARP and from the DC Commission for Arts and Humanities, we're able to offer this masterclass free of charge, and we're able to offer Encore University for a pay what you will. So we're very, very grateful for that funding and that support. So Master Joel Timmons has studied Chinese martial arts for over 40 years. You'd never know he must have started when he was like 2 months old. He's a national team member, international champion, and has represented the U.S. in the World Championships in 1993, as well as the Panamerican Games in 1996. In 1986, he met Grandmaster Nick Gracenin and began studying Kung Fu style martial arts. And some of the modern competition, is it Wushu forms? Am I saying that correctly?
That's correct.
Awesome.
We'll bring that down too.
He holds a 6th and 2 second-degree black belts in multiple international associations. So we certainly have somebody with a lot of expertise this evening who's going to talk to us about Tai Chi and then lead us. So please get comfortable, and I'm going to turn things over to Master Joel.
Wow, thank you very much for that flattering introduction. Thanks for joining us, everyone, for taking time out to learn a little bit more about this kind of obscure, kind of mysterious, in some degrees, art, and how it can well, you get a biased opinion from a Tai Chi teacher, but how it can improve your quality of life in general, and tonight's topic, how it can improve your singing, even hopefully make things a little easier even. So yeah, that's my kind of brief bio. I've done martial arts since I was 12, actually. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, here in the cultural center of the Southeast. Like a lot of people, my father was Navy. That's how I ended up here, and stuck around, and here we are. So it's a good home base. I'm allowed to leave, so it's a good home base though. And as a little kid, I remember seeing a Kodokan judo book around the house, and seeing my dad did a little judo, and he's a boxer as well. I'd see the gi there. I thought, boy, you get to wear pajamas and roll around the floor. You sign me up. So I started having some interest. And when I was about 12, I took a Taekwondo course with some of my friends, and my dad was still active Navy, so at the time there was the NAS Jacksonville Kung Fu Club. So I started going out there as like a 13-year-old, and kept that up, and also discovered surfing along the way when I was about 15, and kind of split my my energy between those two, and yeah, so did martial arts locally. Went out to the first U.S. Chinese martial arts championships in Houston, Texas. And that's where I met my current teacher, Nick Gracenin, who's a DC resident, who offered, he couldn't do this class, so he offered it to me. Very fortunate. So I've been training with him since. And I fell into a kind of a famous lineage. I mean, literally fell into it. I find out who his teacher is, a very famous lady named Bosa Mark in Boston. And her son is actually a Chinese movie star named Donnie Yen. So like, what was the I'm trying to think of the Keanu Reeves movies where he shoots everyone up, John Wick movies. Well, Donnie's the bad guy in the newest John Wick movie, and he's been in a couple of the Star Wars things and all that. So it has a production company in Hong Kong, so we figured if anything, just if it went downhill here, we could always move to Hong Kong and just work for Donnie and get beat up. Luckily, it hasn't come to that. So my teacher, I'm not a real competitive guy, but my teacher pushed me to compete. And one of my teachers, another famous lady named Madame Wang Jurong, said, if you have a good teacher and you work hard, your level will go here. If you have a good teacher and you work hard and you compete, your level will go here. So I wanted to push my level, and being a single electrician at the time, now's the time to go chase this kind of stuff. So I did, and I competed in all aspects of Chinese martial arts and got pushed into stuff that I would have never done on my own. And yeah, so ended up making U.S. national team, competed in world championships in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. First Tai Chi World Championships in Fuzhou, mainland China, and a few other events, England, Argentina, and so on. So I just tried to push it as far as I could, put it that way. So now I get to primarily teach in just for recreation, but also some competitors, and a lot of rehab for balance, for close head injuries. So on. So that's very rewarding as well. So tonight, my goal is for you to know more about Tai Chi than you in an hour and a half than you do now. So let's see if we can do that. As an electrician, I kind of demystify things. It's you don't have to believe in it or so on. Yeah, just kind of cut to the chase on things. So Tai Chi is the same thing. A lot of Eastern martial art and meditation kind of shrouded in mystery and all this stuff. We're trying to cut through that and get to the meat of things and what is actually effective for us. So what is Tai Chi? And I'm saying that Taiji is the modern, the pinyin translation. What's still common in the U.S. is Taichi. This is the old what's called Wade Giles translation, like Peking and versus Beijing, this kind of idea. So the modern translation, Taiji, this is more how you pronounce it in Mandarin. So this is it's basically a philosophy. The concept of just Tai Chi itself. You've seen Tai Chi's symbol, the yin and yang symbol, almost looks like a black and white, like two fish, and a little black dot in the middle of the white field, and vice versa. And so this symbol, the parts are yin and yang, that's true, but the symbol itself, this is the Tai Chi symbol. So Tai Chi, like the Western term, the same term for our body would be homeostasis. I have one teacher that said that Tai Chi is like baby bear's porridge. It's just right. Doesn't mean the exact amount of everything. It just means it's not the same amount of everything, but just the right amount to make everything just as it should be. This is this kind of idea. Everything's going well. This is Tai Chi. So Tai Chi sometimes translates to the grand ultimate. Yeah, everything's smooth. Everything's complementing each other. Yeah, this is the grand ultimate. Okay, so can be applied to Chinese philosophy, medicine, and martial arts. And prior to this being applied to martial arts were basically like two trucks running into each other. If one's bigger, he's going to win. And yeah, there's attrition rate, but that's basically it. Was this kind of approach? Around the mid 1600s, there's a retired military officer, like a garrison commander, and so he thought, why not use this idea of using soft to overcome hard instead of just clashing? And really developed this idea, and then applied this to movement that they were already teaching the troops, and came up with this softer style or softer approach. Again, use soft to overcome hard and never have this direct conflict or, who's bigger wins. I had one teacher tell me once, I don't care how strong you are because I'll never find out. we're never going to have a clash like that. So you're always yielding, the idea to yield to overcome. So never strength contest. This is the only way a smaller army could defeat a bigger army, or a smaller individual could defeat a bigger individual. Because if you just go head on, yeah, whoever's bigger wins in most cases. So this kind of idea. In the Taiji symbol, this isn't just a flat, one-dimensional, like a poster emblem. It's a sphere. It's a ball. So if you take any one part of it out, it's not a ball anymore. So if you say, oh, the yin part, that's the most important part. Not really. No, this is more important. No, it'd have to have both, have to have all of it. Then the little black dot within the white field and white dot within the black field, this is called Shaoyin and Shaoyang. Lesser yin, lesser yang. Because things aren't absolute. Maybe it's daytime, it's bright. There's still a little bit of shadow. Right? Okay, now it's nighttime, it's dark. Yeah, well, there's still a little bit of starlight, a little bit of artificial light, and so on. So not absolute. So a little bit of one and the other. Right? And again, it looks almost like you're stirring it or something, like it's moving, because it is. It's in motion. Think if you laid it out linearly, it'd look like a sine wave. So you think, oh, here's high noon. That's Tai Yang, like greatest yang point. Then all the way down to, oh, it's midnight. Okay, this is the greatest yin point. And then all in between. And you could cut the seasons up that way as well. You have the peak of summer, deepest day of winter. Same thing, just cycle through and it's in motion. So this idea in Chinese kind of cosmology, if you back up a little bit more, where did the Taiji come from? Thing called Wuji. And to use a timely reference, think of a black and white TV. Okay? So Wuji is like when you first turn on the old black and white TV. It's just a bunch of static. Okay, there's potential for every picture, movie, image, anything. The potential's right there. It's just not formed yet. Then it, boom, but kind of separates. There's like black and white lines for a little bit. Okay, there's Taiji. Black, white, full, empty, hard, soft. You pick. All these things. Then filled in, oh, you have a picture. Okay, there the yin and yang components, they all combine. You have the picture. Okay, now you have Taiji. Everything's working in sync. You got your picture. You're watching your show now. Okay. Then the Taiji, the 2 points you could split up. You had yin and yang. Then I said the lesser yin, lesser yang, greater yin, greater yang. So now you have 4 points. They're called the 4 emblems or Sishyang. Then this splits again into 8, the 8 trigrams called Bagua. So you see, like, you go to a Chinese restaurant, you look on the menu and you see like 3 solid lines, 3 broken lines, and different combinations in a circle. So the I Ching. So a way of like predicting natural phenomenon. So that's the 8. And then from there, it says it creates the 10,000 things of everything else. And by the way, there'll be no test on this. This is just in case you're on Jeopardy and then you get the Tai Chi category, you're going to clean up. Okay, so this general this philosophy is applied to movement, and so as opposed to using force against force, the idea was to redirect the force, to borrow the energy, and this kind of idea instead of just like 2 rams hitting each other. Okay. Then I need to back up one level. If I said Tai, what's the definition of Tai Chi? And I said it's a martial form of Qigong. Well, that'd be a correct statement, but that doesn't get you any closer to understanding what the heck it is. So you may have heard the term Qigong, and the old spelling Chikung. The modern pinyin spelling is Qigong. Qigong. Qi is a bioelectricity in the body. Again, I'm an electrician. You don't have to believe in it. You can read it with a meter. The crude definition is the presence of this bioelectricity is the difference between a living body and a corpse. But again, you don't. It's there. You don't have to believe in it. But it can be cultivated, which is a good thing. And gong means to cultivate or work. So gong fu, you see. That just means hard work over time to get some skill. So you could have gong fu at cooking, carpentry, singing. It just means that you put in very focused work over a period of time equals skill. No big surprise there. So Qigong means to cultivate the energy in the body. There's 5 kind of subcategories of Qigong: martial, medical, then Taoist, Buddhist, Confucius. So martial, obviously, want to get faster, stronger, better endurance, this kind of thing. Maybe people are impervious to strikes. Medical, for different organs, systems, general health. And then the others are for higher spiritual or philosophical kind of pursuit. What all Qigong has in common, the marrow of all Qigong: 3 things. Your breath, your intention, and your movement, if there is movement, are all coordinated. From there, it could go off, it can be pretty complicated, but that's the common thread for all kind of Qigong practice. Those 3 qualities are going on at the same time. And we'll be exploring that a little bit more in a bit here. So there's hundreds and hundreds of Qigong sequences, very simple exercises to very complex, involved practices. And we're just going to touch on a couple of the simplest ones and see if we can actually feel some of the effects. The Tai Chi has 3 components, 3 areas. One is what you're used to seeing is people doing form, solo practice. It's like shadow boxing. So hopefully you have some, just like you see a boxer, he's not just flinging his hands in the air, but he has some intention behind his actions. He has an imaginary opponent. Well, this is the same with Tai Chi. It's shadow boxing, like you have an imaginary opponent. A whole bunch of Tai Chi today is not practiced like that, but I'm just telling you, originally, yeah, you're doing shadow boxing form. The other 2 components are, I mentioned the Wu Ji, the no extreme area, like before Tai Chi. There's what's called Wu Ji meditation. So standing, seated, and even laying down, meditation of this type. That's boy, this is its own lecture. This state of not kind of anticipating this or that, but trying to get to just this neutral state. That's all easy to say, but takes a lot of practice to do. The standing version of this is very common that you'll see people look like they're embracing a big poster, holding a big ball. It's called the universal posting kind of posture. And basically, when you stand, you have a set posture, your body tries to find the easiest way to be there. I mean, it's like, well, as long as we're going to be here a little bit, I guess I'll put my shoulders down. I guess I'll relax my hands a little bit. And it tries to find the most efficient way to hold this shape. And of course, we have a bunch of cues we're going to give it as well. But this starts training the structure, so you have very efficient, effective structure. I'll start talking about some of the actual physical components of Tai Chi. You have what's called, my grand teacher, Bosa Mark, whittled this down to 6 important points, like postural characteristics and just characteristics of Tai Chi. This is all Qigong, but it's just good posture in general. But do this standing, by the way. 4 of these points are postural, and the other 2 are ideas. So, number 1, also all these requirements, they have internal effect, external effect. Okay, so number 1, raise the crown point of the head. If you drew a line from your nose back to cervical spine, and then from ear to ear, where they would intersect, is called the Bai Kui point, this acupoint. This very crown point of the head. Think, press this one point upward, like you're suspended by a string or you're pushing a light object up. So your eyes are level, your jaw's still level, but press this one point up. This does a whole lot right there. If you think, okay, raise crown of head, oh, well, right away, you kind of stack the bones on top of each other and less battling with gravity just to stay upright, and you don't have a bunch of built-in tension just to hold you like you're suspending yourself forward, this kind of thing. Yeah, I know. We our eyes influence our neck. So what happens? Oh, I can't see that very well. Oh, now I can see. Great. All right, carry on now. Fix that. And your body thinks, oh, you like that shape? We'll help you hold it, maintain it. I've also been a licensed massage therapist for almost 30 years, which I got into through martial art training. Yeah, the fascia, the kind of the glue in the body, after about 20 minutes, it will start setting. So when you sit for a long time, you kind of get up and you're kind of like, eh. Yeah, the fascia is going, oh, you like this shape? Well, we'll help you hold it. Yeah, so there's this idea. So externally, this stacks the bones on top of each other. Oh, just raising the crown of the head up. Internally, they say this raises the spirit to the crown of the head. Like not in any religious sense, just vitality. Yeah. If you feel too good, walk around like this for a while. You'll get a bad attitude. But you think, someone compliments you or something, you kind of go, oh, thank you very much. It's lifted kind of feeling. Yeah. So you want to feel better, raise that crown of your head. Also, takes pressure off your internal organs so they can do their jobs easier. Instead of this hunched over feeling. Your spine will be happy too. So number 1, raise the crown of the head. Number 2, sink the shoulders and elbows. We have adult bad habit of holding tension in soft tissue. And there's plenty of reasons, as adults to have tension. And yeah, we're good at being a conduit, but we're not good at being a vessel. So when we try to hold it in, hoo-ha, no good. Right? So shoulders, common area. Then we have adult bad habit where instead of just picking my hand up, I'm picking my elbow all up too. Instead of pick up just my hand, the rest of the arm like a piece of rope, we kind of get more of our shoulders into it. It looks like it's Halloween or something now. Okay. So also when you raise your shoulders, tense your chest, raise them, this has a feeling of pulling the energy from your center up and out. like the feeling you lean back in the chair, maybe you almost fall and ooh, kind of catch yourself or startled and like, ooh, like energy's up here, then oh, okay, it settles back down. Supposedly that's the chi rising and scattering. Then maybe you get some good news and you kind of go, oh, oh, feels like someone climbed off your chest. That's energy settling into lower abdomen. So we can have some influence over that. So which we're going to try to do. So sinking the shoulders and elbows. Next is empty the chest, expand the back. So opposite of young guy in the gym kind of look, right? So not collapse this, but just don't push it out. One translation I like is restrain the chest. So just natural, like a nice coat on a nice hanger, right? Remember no wire hangers? Yeah. Nice concave dropped. Empty here, the back's a little rounded this way, just hanging nice. Yeah, this idea. Okay, so empty the chest, expand the back. And last physical idea is relax the waist, especially lumbar spine. We want curve here, but we don't want excessive curve. So think open lumbar spine, like it presses out, like between L2 and 3, expand outward. You can think of in the front, the pubic bone coming up toward the navel, your tailbone pointing a little downward. All these things are ways of trying to get you to get your hips more level underneath you and have nice open lumbar spine. Can turn easily this way. So raise crown of the head, drop the shoulders and elbows, empty the chest, expand the back, relax the waist. These are our postural qualities for Tai Chi. The last two are ideas. Sink the chi to the dantian, or the energy to the lower abdomen. So like when you sit down in your favorite chair, everything's done for the day. Wild horses couldn't drag you out of that chair, but you're still alert. This kind of feeling all the time. That's what we're after. So spirit's up, but energy's calm, settled down here. This idea. Then the last one is keep yin and yang clear. So in this case, obvious examples are full and empty, weighted, unweighted. So before I pull 50% of my base out from under me, I shift over here. Then I feel this foot empty in my shoe. Oh, now I can move it without having to throw out outriggers or this or roll the dice. So weighted, unweighted, clear to you. Opening, closing. These the commands that you're giving your body, very clear, very deliberate. Not so sort of. There's all kind of sayings about this is the general, this is the army, or this is the capital, this is all the outer provinces. This is the commands come from here, and then the body carries it out. Is the ultimately what we're shooting for. Okay. Let's see. I want to hit on a couple other things and then give you guys a little break. And again, there will be no test, but you'll know more than you did 45 minutes ago. So that's our 6 important points. There's 5 major styles of Tai Chi. All of them are Chinese surnames, and I tell people it's kind of like spaghetti recipes, where your aunt in in New York, she has hers, and then your other aunt in San Francisco, she has hers. They all have spaghetti and meat and the sauce, but are a little different seasoning. And chances are each one will say, "This is the original recipe here." All right. So there's stylistic differences. There's Qin, Yang, Sun, Wu, and Hao styles. These are all just Chinese surnames, and they all have their own characteristics. But the common marrow is these postural traits I just described, the yin and yang, the Tai Chi philosophy, all the same, and all the movement in Tai Chi it originates with the waist, with the center. So we're never moving our hands independent from the rest of the body. That's a big no-no. So just like if you wanted to move all the leaves on a tree, if you move the trunk, right, then all the peripheral moves. So this is the same idea. According to Chinese medicine, our kind of our center, the bank where we store that energy, is about 3 finger widths underneath your navel. You drew a line straight through here, then another line through your side where they intersect. That's where we store energy in the body, and that's also the center of our mass. That's the point we have to keep over our feet, or we we need to make some adjustments. So we want to think of that point moving to move the limbs. And there's all kind of movement. We're going to try a couple of them in a few minutes. But this idea of your mind creates the internal movement, then the internal movement creates the external movement. We'll also be doing an example of that. And I tell you what, I think this is a good point to. So I've covered the history, a little bit of background, and most of the rest of the things I want to do are going to be participatory, if you like to join us. So at this time, what do we do this? If you have any questions on anything I've covered or you think I should have covered up to this point, please open the floor up and I'll take some questions. Then we'll take a minute break and use the bathroom, get some water, and then we'll actually do some movement together. So any questions you have up to this point?
Feel free to just unmute and ask, or if you feel more comfortable, you can put it in the chat and I can ask for you.
Are you a teacher of Tai Chi
Yes, ma'am.
professionally? So you have a studio or okay. So what particular
years and years ago I had a studio. I do not have a studio at this time. I teach at the park. I teach on Zoom. I teach at people's house. I teach at hospitals.
Okay, and what particular style do you teach, or do you just pick from various styles?
I've studied formally Yang, Qin, Sun, and Fu style, and the modern, the Guiding Talu, the modern competition forms, the 42 form, 42 sword, these forms as well. I also do the sister styles of Taiji, Xingyi and Bagua. And the jumping around kid stuff, Long Fist, which I've semi-retired. That's for kids. There's a saying, when you're a young person, you do young person martial arts. When you're an adult, you do adult martial arts. So Taiji, Xingyi, Bagua, these are the adult styles, which is very nice that you can start at any age and get real results, real skill, without having to compromise things or, water it down or feel like you're playing a kid's game or I got to hurry up and get good at this. That's the nice thing about the adult styles. You can do, up to any age.
Linda asked, do you need to do floor exercises?
No. There's a ton of floor exercises, obviously additional just kind of stretching, strength stuff, but no, you do not.
And then Amy asks, how much time do you spend per day on your own personal Tai Chi practice?
These days, it varies. I may do specific, routine or something, specific one that I'm working on, or I just may work on some skill, some flexibility or strength kind of component. So it actually, not to give you a vague answer, but it varies from day to day. It can be 15 minutes or something, or it could be a couple of hours. It's, what the day allows and so on. Of course, when I was competing and training, oh gosh, several hours a day.
Carol asks, which style is appropriate for a beginner?
Actually, any style. It depends on the teacher. But any style is appropriate for a beginner. There are more advanced postures that are lower postures or higher kicking or ballistic action. but those things can be, they're not mandatory for to do for, especially for health. So really, the instructor is competent. Any style can be used as I think, a good beginner form. What I'm going to teach you tonight is, and the course that I'm teaching is using the most popular style of Tai Chi. It's called Yang style, Y-A-N-G. Yeah, it looks like Yang, but yeah, Yang style. And this just became popular because Mr. Yang was one of the first guys to start teaching in public instead of only teaching other family members. And you just within the Qin household. In fact, the legend is that the Qin style was the original Tai Chi, and it only was taught within the Qin family for several generations. Well, this one Mr. Yang, he got a job as a servant in the Qin household, and he did martial arts and saw they were doing it too. And so he would watch at night, like look over a wall at him, practice, and he'd do it too. And finally, they ended up catching him and thought, well, you're applying yourself. And so they went ahead and taught him, wholeheartedly. And then he was one of the first ones to start teaching openly in public and not have it only for the Qin family. He also taught the royal family some, and so this popularized it as well. And the royal family didn't want to jump around ballistically or make these super low postures. So he raised the frame of the movement, made it, and also he's a pretty big guy for Mandarin Chinese. Instead of these tighter kind of circles, made bigger, larger frame movement. Instead of this broken kind of rhythm, made it more even tempo. So characteristics now of Yang Tai Chi are this long, large frame and even continuous movement. So that when we think of Tai Chi, that's usually what we're thinking of.
Interesting. And then Sue asks, could you show a couple of first moves from the first part of the form, which I think is part of what we're going to do.
Oh, you're going to be doing it with me. Yeah, I'll demonstrate and then we'll do it together. Okay. Okay. How are we doing?
I think that's all the questions in the chat. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, like I say, all those styles I've competed quite a bit in, and for what it's worth, yeah, I've been U.S. Yang style champion, Chin style champion, Sun style champion, Tai Chi sword, Tai Chi broadsword, push hands, who's two-person kind of wrestling kind of skill. So trust me, I've got a lot of experience. So some actual actions here I'd like to do. There's a sign up on the side of the wall at a gym in Beijing. I remember it said, if you hear, you forget. You see, you remember. You do, you understand. So let's do some and see if we can actually understand it a little bit. So it said this stuff is it's Qigong. It's for circulating energy. Okay, well, how do we know? You're just going to trust me on that? Or so I want to do a couple of exercises so maybe you can actually see some tangible results. I'm a result-oriented kind of guy. Okay, we're going to take an action, one of them from Yang style. This is the commencing form, the opening and closing movement. So a lot of times you see people do martial art routines, and they'll have some kind of this big action, and then they'll do their movement, and then finish, and then do some action kind of like that. Well, the idea for these different like pressing down actions is settling the chi, like guiding the energy to lower abdomen with this helping to visualize. So it's energy down, spirit up. Then I said Tai Chi and some other things are a form of Qigong. So you do your Qigong, your energy cultivation. Then the idea is, okay, now store that energy in the bank instead of letting it just scatter somewhere. So cultivate the energy, store it in the bank, and then hopefully you just run off the interest. Yeah, that's the idea. There's what's called pre-heaven chi and post-heaven chi. Pre-heaven is the energy you got from your parents, you're born with. You know, whatever the luck of the draw is. Then post-heaven, like once you're under the sky, all right, well, now you get that from air, grain, or food and nutrition, and movement. So, like the whole process of changing food into actual energy, this action going on. So let's see if we can do this one movement and see a tangible difference. So the one saying is Yi Qi Li. Yi, Y-I, this is your intent, your will. So when you say, I've made up my mind, I'm gonna, okay, that's your intent. Qi is the bioelectricity, decided that. And Li, L-I, this is like physical movement or strength. So my analogy is, here's some chocolate ice cream. And you look at the chocolate ice cream. And then you back up before the intent, you have heart, desire, called Shen. I desire that ice cream. This changes to, I intend to eat that ice cream. This fires the muscles for me to carry that out. So this cycle is what happens. So all our movement is guided by our intention. And then again, the idea of the internal movement creates external movement. We'll try that a little bit. So we're going to think of 2 points that we're going to put our energy to. One, just center of your palm. So you drew an X across here, or you made a fist, kind of your middle or ring finger. Or you hollow out your palm. You're right in the center part here. So think of this point right here. Then think another point on your back between L2 and L3. So basically across from your navel and between the spinous processes of L2 and L3, your lower back. We're going to think of both of them pressing out away from each other like a ball inflating. So there's 2 points in your hands pressing forward, the lower back, think expanding out. All the movement you're doing in Tai Chi, you want to think like you're moving against a little bit of resistance, even like just moving through water, but you're never just kind of waving your arms in space. Always like moving against a little resistance. So with our hands by our sides, I'm just going to give the side view here initially. Feel your lower back press out. Feel like a little bit of pressure against your back of your hand, your forearms. Press the 2 hands out and up, shoulder high and shoulder wide to this point. Then we're going to think press something down. So now think about pressure against your palms. Think shoulder, elbow, wrist, press the palms back down like you're pushing a little ball in the water. And relax for a second. I forgot, I left out one part. Our baseline. Look at your palms real quick. We're going to see if we can make a change. We may or may not. Look at your palms, check see what color, the makeup they are, how they feel, so on. We'll see if we change any of that. Okay. So now we're going to do that action a couple of times. So you feel lower back fill up. You feel some resistance against the back of your hands. You use your mind to press up. So you're not doing isometrics, but very intentful. Now you want to press down. You think of shoulders sinking, elbows sinking, wrist sink. You feel some resistance, but you're very strong. You easily just press down to waist high again. Then relax. So we have movement and we have intention. So I said there's third component though, our breath. So as you press down, exhale. You can bend your knees slightly like you're sitting down. Hands relaxed. Now inhale as you press up. So spread your breath through the movement. Then exhale as you press down. And we'll define our breath a little bit more in a minute, but I'm going to do a couple more of these. Your hands are coming up because you're making them come up. Then press down. You feel like spongy pressure, but you easily just push right through. Maybe one more time. Smooth inhale. Smooth exhale. You're sitting down in your favorite chair. Good. Now relax from your fingertips back in. Now look at your hands again. See if we made any difference. Maybe. You only did it a couple of minutes. Usually I recommend do it at something at least 5 minutes before you try to notice change. But this action is one of the quickest ways you can see some change. So hand might feel a little warmer, might be a little tingly, a little thick feeling, might be a little redder, a little malted looking. This is the intention leads the blood. And so that change is the blood going to the hands. One of the first things people doing Tai Chi notice is if you have cold extremities, it tends to help with cold hands, cold feet. So better circulation, in other words. So I was asking you to, this is called commencing form and opening form, closing form, or commencing form, or here is return to Wuji. But you usually see this action at beginning and end of yang style movement. So you actually just learned the first and last movement of the 10 form that I'd be teaching in the course. Our breath, everyone can breathe, you're here, but how can we refine that some? We tend to, as adults, breathe at about a 3 count. And we tend to, if you're not trained, start breathing very shallow. So the saying is, when you're born, baby, you breathe from down here, then shallower, 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 and then you die. They're kind of direct sometimes. Yeah, you see someone that breathes just from here, looks like a fish out of water. Oh, that's a bad sign. We want to breathe like a baby. Or your dog or cat, they can play, they can lay down in the corner. You see their belly move, but hopefully not their ribs are trying to raise all this area. So we want to try to breathe like an infant again. So Taoist breathing, infant breathing, abdominal breathing, whatever you want to call it. So to emphasize this, please put one hand up on your chest plate, your sternum, and your other hand just below your navel. So your thumb's about navel level and palm just below it. I know your diaphragms are out here, but forget that for a minute and visualize the breath going all the way down below your hand. So let the breath go past that top hand. Don't try to pick up all that bone and muscle. Let it go to the bottom hand and allow your belly to move out as you inhale. Then let it comes back in as you exhale. Think of the breath coming from all the way down there. You get to use your imagination. Smooth, quiet breath in. Smooth, quiet breath out from bottom hand back out. Easiest place to do this is laying flat on your back. Like, hey, my kind of exercise class, right? So this idea. So breathing from abdomen, which we get away from quickly, and unless you do some specific training, we just breathe from here. If you tell even a bunch of professional athletes, tell them take a deep breath, they'll go like that. So yeah, but unless you've trained for singing or like brass or woodwind instruments, something like this, yeah, we just kind of breathe shallow. So this kind of abdominal breathing, for me, I try to first get people to don't hold your breath. That's just an adult bad habit. We do something difficult, so I'll cut my oxygen off. So we first just breathe. Second, trying to breathe from abdomen instead of the shallow, short breath. Most adults breathe on about a 3 count. So as a drill, try with me now to lengthen that to a 6 count. So smooth, quiet breath in, smooth, quiet breath out at a 6 count. And if you get a little lightheaded doing this, then back off. You're getting more oxygen than you're used to for the same amount of effort. Then, if you like this, try 9 count. Smooth breath in, 9 counts. Smooth breath out, 9 counts. And if this is uncomfortable, you go back to what's comfortable and then gradually introduce lengthening the breath. And I had don't purse your breath. I had one teacher say, I like the visual. He said, pretend you have a white crane's feather underneath your nose. And you don't want to ruffle the feather while you inhale and exhale. Inhale through the nose, then either exhale through the nose or nose and mouth. That's what we're trying for. So one, just being aware of your breath. Your breath is one of the few things that you do automatically or you can manually control that has huge effect over the rest of your body. From mind to on. So initially, this type of diaphragmatic breathing is what's encouraged. Then later, there's what's called reverse breathing for martial arts. This is also natural. When you sneeze or cough, you push instead of what am I trying to say here? Instead of your belly going in as you breathe out, it will push out as you forcefully exhale. So when you cough or sneeze, you actually use this reverse breathing. And in martial arts, when you're issuing out power, then this is the type of breathing you use. But for the other 90% of the time, just trying to train this natural lengthened breath, that's the goal. In general, as we lift up, we inhale. As we go down, we exhale. As we go out, we exhale. As we come in, we inhale. So the movements are, and there's of course exceptions to everything, but movements are coordinated, just like we were doing our commencing action, inhaling as you go up, exhaling as you press down. And I have the edge of a massage table here. So if you think about, oh, I'm going to take a break. Well, time to get back to work. It's the kind of natural order. So a lot of things in Chinese martial arts is see that these things we do naturally anyway. Someone just noticed that and said, well, let's do it on purpose. Let's actually cultivate that. So this idea. Also, another kind of interesting thing, feel your eyes. Take deep inhale, feel how your eyes feel. Now, smooth exhale, feel how eyes feel. As you inhale, eyes want to open some. As you exhale, they want to close some. Let's try to reverse it. So inhale, try to close eyes. Exhale, try to open them wide. That wasn't very comfortable, was it? So this natural opening, closing, called Kai He. Sun style Tai Chi, I said Mr. Yang was a very big guy. Sun style was developed by a fellow named Sun Wutang, who's a very slight build guy. And this is actually the newest style of Tai Chi. His daughter was alive up into the 80s. My teacher was able to actually train with Sun Jinyuan, with the founder's daughter's son, which was pretty interesting. But when Mr. Sun created his Tai Chi, he'd studied some other style of martial art in some what was called Hao style Tai Chi. He has an action in the movement that we're going to do right now called open and close, or Kai He. And this is it has a little martial application, but it's Qigong. Very good for respiratory, asthma, these kind of ailments. What we're going to do is put the hands in front of the chest about face wide. The wrists sit down so the thumbs point back toward the chest, up here, this comfortable distance. Then we're going to separate the hands to shoulder wide, like a ball inflating or something. Then we're going to squeeze back in to about face wide. So I said, your mind creates internal movement, the internal movement creates the external movement. Okay, so now we're going to think of two other acupoints. One, about 3 finger widths up from the sternal notch here, from bottom of your chest plate, just right on the midline. Just basically center your chest. Then think the same place in back between your shoulder blades. When your hands are here, you're going to think of that point between your shoulder blades condensing and this point expanding. And you feel that initiate you wanting to separate your hands. Now we reverse it. The point between your shoulder blades expands and this point condenses. Feel that initiate your arm movement. Then we need breath for our third component. So smoothly inhale as you separate. Now exhale as you press back to face wide. As your hands separate, they're going to come in toward the body a little bit, like they're on a big ball. Then exhale. You feel a little bit of pressure. I was told separating, it feels like pulling taffy. I've never pulled taffy, but I can imagine. So some resistance, separate, then expand upper back, condense chest, press back together. Inhale, exhale. Your mind closes upper back. Your mind opens upper back. Your mind opens chest. So you're not pushing your ribs out, just think that one point. And now your mind condenses chest. So these happening together, pull the hands apart. Now you feel some resistance, but you easily push back together to make this open and close action. Then can lower hands and relax. Third action, and then I want to put one component over it and have you guys try it. Third action is raise the two hands back to our original position here. Now roll the palms up like you're going to lift something over your head. And just as far as your shoulders, any ailment will allow you. So palms up, push up. Good. Relax back down. And one more time. Palms in, they roll away from you, now like supporting something. Inhale as you push up. Exhale as you relax. Okay, now your homework, and try it right now initially, but your homework is to try these actions while you're sustaining a note or a tone. So, and I wouldn't be the judge of it anyway, so we can stay muted. But try this now. Let's try the first one of raising and pressing the hands down while you hold a note. See where you feel, where it assists you, where it might impede you a little bit, but just the general feeling of where you're putting effort during that action. So while pressing up to shoulder high, then shoulders, elbows sink, press the palms down to waist high. There's one action. Now, still making, holding sound, roll the hands up. Now support, hold up the sky. Oh, different, yeah. Then elbows drop down, relax. And last one, while you're open and closing. Back closes, back opens. Maybe one more. You emphasize chest opens, chest condenses. Again, while you're changing this shape, while maintaining your sound, see how those interact with each other. And there's a ton of different ways to breathe. I'm just introducing the most basic, simple ones. And again, my personal approach is just try to get people to not hold their breath when they're doing something difficult. Then we'll work for abdominal breathing. And I've had people that took months and months to figure it out. So just do it. And don't hold a timer to yourself, or, well, I've done it 3 times. I should be able to do it by now. Yeah, don't worry about any of that. There's a saying in this kind of training, after 10,000 times, you start to get the idea. So if you haven't done it 10,000, don't worry about it. Just practice. And actually, 10,000 is not that many. If you do something 10 times a day, after about 3 years, you've done it 10,000 times. So look at it that way. It's a long-term investment. These ideas. Okay. Actual Tai Chi movement. Well, these are 2 Tai Chi movements, but a very popular movement that we're going to try tonight is called cloud hands, Yun Shou, or wave hands like clouds. And every Tai Chi style has a version of this. There are little characteristics, but again, the core, the marrow qualities of it are the same through all the styles. Okay. So Tai Chi is a martial art, is a movement. It only has 8 techniques. It's sometimes called 13 postures. 8 techniques, or 8 energies, 5 directions. You think, what kind of compass is that? Well, forward, back, left, right, and then the 5th one is hold center. Maintain center equilibrium. And in Tai Chi in general, this is the most important idea, is to maintain your center, not have your center disrupted. The 8 energies, you can think like 8 points on a compass. 4 primary ones and 4 diagonal. So again, there'll be no test, but this is Peng Lu Ji An, Cai Lei Zhou Kao. Ward off, or upward energy, on, or downward energy, roll back, or like a bow of a boat moving water past, or a matador guiding the bull past, roll back energy, and then pressing or squeezing, like taking up space, taking up slack. Like a constrictor, a big snake grabs something, it wiggles a little bit more, it just takes up that space. The thing exhales, it takes up more space. So this squeeze or press, or like water rolls along a wall, and if there's any little opening, goes in. All right, this kind of quality. And then the diagonals are plucking down, striking with the elbow, the shoulder and hip, and then this tear, like separating kind of energy. And so every movement in Tai Chi is either one of those 8 or a combination. That's it. It's like a waltz, just a bunch of different combinations of these just 8 energies. And then the 5 directions, that's either, that's how we move. It's one of those directions or a combination of them, and that encompasses our movement. So sometimes Tai Chi was referred to as the 13 postures. So, so the one we're going to look at is cloud hands, which are very popular. And there's even forms of Qigong that are basically just doing cloud hands. Again, there will be no test. So one hand, we'll do one hand at a time. Also, if I ask you to do any kind of movement that might harass some existing condition, don't do it. This is like medicine. First, do no harm. Yeah, actually, martial arts and medicine have parallels. One is, for both of them, you do only enough to affect change, no extra. Both are concerned with restoring balance, homeostasis. What's our third? And both of them, you take a strategic approach. You're not just like throwing the kitchen sink at things. So if I ask you to do something that might harass an existing condition, don't do it. So our cloud hand action, we'll just do one hand at a time. This part of your hand is called the tiger's mouth. Oh, cool. There's even acupoint, just lighting here, for like headaches and stuff. Show you to press in here. Yeah, it's a tiger's mouth point. But this whole part of your hand refers to the tiger's mouth. So you think of it like you're grabbing a rope, like you're going to ring a bell or something. So pulling down. So you start with your hand, this hand about shoulder high, the tiger's mouth leading, and you pluck down. So you think that elbow drop to pluck the hand down to about waist high. Initially, we're going to kind of make a square. Then I said your movement hinges on your waist. This area between your hips and ribs, like a turret. So by turning your waist, you move the hand across, looks like you're sweeping it across the water. About other shoulder distance. Then lift up, like supporting something. So my shoulders down, elbows down, almost like come up underneath and support. Now my palm will roll away from me like I'm brushing something off and wiping it. So rolling away. So now we're back at starting position. So 1, pluck down. 2, you turn your waist to wipe across. 3, you can think of the shoulders sinking to make the hand come back up. Then 4, you turn your waist to let the hand brush and wipe back to the starting position. So plucking down, waist turns to wipe across. Raise just your palm, the rest of your arm just hang like rope. Brush and wipe to your in position. About one more time this side. Pluck down, wipe, lift up. Now your mind turns your waist, and your waist turns to get back here. If you do this seated, you won't have a choice about using your waist. You won't be able to get your hips in on things. So a lot of stuff, I'll have my class just sit down and try something for a few times. Then, okay, stand up, try to get that same feeling, like movement coming from here, not just the extremity. Okay. Let's try other hand. So pluck down, tie. Then your waist turns to move the arm across. Then lift up, like support. Now turn waist back, brush, wipe. Pluck down. Waist turns to brush and wipe. Now shoulder stays down, just your hand comes up. Now elbow stays down as you roll the palm away from you. Good. But one more. Down, scoop across. Now lift up. Now brush and wipe. So now our squares was getting kind of rounded. Good. My grand teacher has a bunch of sayings, but one of them is 3 C's: calm, circular, continuous. So like the cloud, like clouds changing shape, maybe it's one very clear shape, but then it's not like a slideshow. Then it blends into another maybe very clear shape, then blend, so on. So now let's try that same action, but think of continuous, still very clear. And one of the analogies I use is like a note. You play or hold the note all the way out, then continue into next note. Or like the lost art of cursive writing. Very clear image, then continue into next very clear image, finish that 100%, then into next image, so on. So let's try to keep our idea clear, but now blend it. So pluck down. Now smoothly wipe across. Now lifting up. Now brush and wipe. Your eyes coordinate with the hand that's leading. In general, you're looking about a foot in front of your hand. You're looking where you send your hand. Don't just stare at your hand. Look where the action is. One more. Pluck down. Your mind turns your waist. Move across. Lift up. Brush and wipe. Good. Okay. Look at that. You're doing Tai Chi. Now, like that wasn't enough going on, we're going to do both hands at the same time. Again, there will be no test. So, one hand up, one hand down. Think like you pull this, you have a rope that goes up over a pulley, you pull that top hand down, the bottom hand has to come up. Just those two. Again, pluck down with the top hand, ward off or lift up with the bottom hand. Now, your palms are going to change. Your waist is going to move both your arms to the other side, and you brush and wipe, and you're magically on the other side in the same shape. Now, same idea. Top hand plucks down, bottom hand has to come up. Good. Now your mind turns your waist the other way, brush and wipe, and the palms change. Up and down together, your waist turns, brush and wipe together. Up and down together, your mind turns your waist, brush and wipe together. One more time, up and down, brush and wipe. Okay, a lot going on at one time, but we're going to add more to it. So, give your arms a little break. Standing, your feet about hip wide. Your knees are extended but soft. Okay, so don't lock your knees out. Oh, heck, go ahead and lock your knees out. All right, what happened to your lower back? What happened to your belly? Your back arches, your belly distends. Now, soften your knees. Oh, open, lower back opens up, belly more natural. So this kind of soft knee. There's a chin style saying that says, stand like an ape. That doesn't mean jump around, imitate a monkey. But you see an ape stand, knees are never locked out. So this idea. Most people cannot stand for a long period of time. Why not? They don't know how to stand. Hate to say it. Yeah, so this method, yeah, you can stand indefinitely. So knees are soft. Always think of the weight passing down the back of your knees. So just more pressure into the feet, not like your knees are bearing a load. So knees are soft. Now we're going to shift side to side, like you're on an office chair. Your hips are going to stay level, and we said your intent leads. So you think of your tailbone trying to get to your right heel. Shift over, and now think push that foot into the ground. You get to use your imagination. Think of tree roots going down several feet. So literally the term is rooted. Now you get to shift to other side. So you have the intention first. You think from your center, you make a connection, like right through each joint, right through the bone marrow, into the ground several feet. Then you actually shift. And besides being on top of that foot, you think into the ground several feet. Again, a couple more shifts. You can think of something touching your right hip. You easily just push it to the side. You're very strong. Good. And so now you feel 1 foot full, 1 foot pretty empty in your shoe. Then we change one more time. You put roots down mentally, your tailbone trying to get to your heel, and everything goes. So we're going to add that on top of our arm action. So I'll mirror you, your right hand up, left hand down, your weight's in the right. As you raise right, as you raise left, shift to left. Shift into left foot. Now just stay on that foot, brush and wipe. Now, as you raise your right arm, sit into right foot. Then just pivot on that foot as you brush and wipe. So, up and down together, brush and wipe together. Weight shift as you raise, then brush and wipe. So you can think of it like a checklist, and then we smooth everything out. So up and down together, turn, brush and wipe. Up and down together, waist turns, brush and wipe. Your eyes coordinate with the hand that's leading. As one hand overtakes another, then that's where you put your intent, your gaze, I should say. Then with this idea, once you have all your weight over on one side, one pretty full, one pretty empty, during the routine, that's when you'll actually step, move, wipe, then this one empty, can easily follow step, and so on. But that's for later. So main thing here, pluck down, scoop across, lift up, brush and wipe, and your waist as the axis. This part turning, not hips, but this area above the hips. If your shirt is tucked in and you turn your waist, you'll see diagonal lines form on the shirt, like actually kind of twisting, as opposed to just turning the hips, nothing going on here. So, one more time, our cloud hand action, let's add our breath to it. Again, I'll mirror you. So about right hand shoulder high, left hand kind of scooping about waist high. And as you raise that bottom hand, shift into that foot. You're going to inhale as you raise up. Then exhale as you brush and wipe. Then as you raise the right, inhale. Now brush and wipe as you wipe across. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhale. Relax. So when you put your foot down, we don't want to think your foot on top of your sock, on top of your shoe, on top of the ground. We want to visualize like you're putting tree roots down. Or the one saying is like you're grabbing the ground like a big claw. Then when you're actually moving, they say it's like wading through thick mud, or like you're plowing. So we're never kind of hopping from one spot to another, but place the foot, very solid kind of movement. Very stable idea. So it's all very deliberate. You're not just falling forward and hope you fall on your foot. This idea is called rooting. So obviously for martial art, if you want to put force out, well, Newton's third law says you have to have equal opposite force the other way. The one says you can't shoot a cannon from a canoe. Not twice, anyway. So this philosophy. So much is dedicated to this being able to root and develop very strong, stable legs. Then from the health and relaxation end of things, for this top part to be really deeply relaxed, the bottom part has to be very strong and stable. If you're not rooted in the base, very hard to deeply relax the top part. So for, again, martial art, health and martial art training are two sides of the same coin. So these ideas apply to be a benefit for singing. We know just good alignment, stacking the bones on top of each other. To even add to this raising the crown of the head, sinking the shoulders and elbows. Then you can think, touch your chin and retract your chin. Pull your chin back from your finger. So your jaw's still level, eyes still level, but think of the middle of your ear being closer in line with the middle of your shoulder. So you want to have a feeling like you can relax your neck and shoulders and your head won't immediately fall forward. So this stacking the bones up kind of idea and opening this whole area up and relieving any tension that doesn't need to be there, so you can concentrate on tensing the areas you want to actually tense. It's kind of like the thing like you can fix your car up and make it real fast. Well, first take the parking brake off. So a bunch of Tai Chi training is learning how to let go of a bunch of tension that we just kind of hold. We hold tension in soft tissue from psychological trauma, physical trauma. In massage, it's sometimes called armoring. Right? People still look like they got an accident. They're still bracing. They're bracing for the next accident. It's like, I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's kind of like they're bracing for a punch. And that's just how we cope with things a lot until told otherwise. So this learning how to deeply, I mean deeply relax. So the one saying is to relax from the body hair all the way to the bone marrow. How's that for thorough? But you're really trying to relax that deeply and turn off all this stuff that doesn't need to be turned on. It's like you walk through your house and turn a bunch of fans and lights off that they're burning energy, but you aren't getting anything out of. So this deep kind of learning how to relax very deeply. The deep breathing, obviously, this diaphragmatic breathing, a starting point to be able to control the breath. What am I trying to say? The kind of energy management, your best use of your breath, not being all the way taxed out, so on. The deep breathing, not doing that just when you're practicing singing or playing the instrument, but this all the time idea. And this has huge effect on our general kind of stress and tension level. Is being able to actually control the breath. Increased body awareness, all this open and closing stuff, being really aware of body, where tension points are. And I tell people it's like you recognize in your car and you hear a little rattle or something. You can recognize it sooner instead of just you're on the side of the road all of a sudden. So you're more in tune with it. Yeah, you can recognize something a little off and can address it much sooner before it becomes an issue. And the idea, like you have to have force one way to have force the other. Try also trying to sustain a note while you raise up onto your toes, or you try to go up onto one foot, raise a knee, so on. So being able to root this, you have a very stable base, helps you actually project out, whether it's physical, a limb or voice itself. You have this more stable but flexible kind of base. So like not like so much like a telephone pole, but like a palm tree. Get a Florida analogy. So rooted but flexible. Big wind comes up, oh, you just move with it. Telephone pole, snap. So we want to be very strong, but we don't want to be stiff or brittle. We want to learn how to be very soft, but not be mushy, limp. So remember Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? That's Tai Chi. And be able to shift from one to the other at will. Very, very soft to very, very hard at will. That's our goal. We have lofty goals, what can I say? So this ability to root, being more in touch with your physical body, makes you more relaxed. And for performance, hey, the more comfortable you are and the more intent you can have in your actions, then the better performance and more comfortable it's going to be. These are some of the key ideas that I wanted to share with you tonight. I'm trying to think. Yeah, projection, confidence is again things of through you being more comfortable with your body, this ability to root. Just it's like you're more prepared going into something. You just feel more confident about it. So my goal was not make you Tai Chi experts, but for you to know more than you did an hour and a half ago. So I hope that's the case. We've just scratched the surface of this art, but again, hopefully give you just a little taste of it. And if you like it, you go back and try some more. Any questions to this point? And I think we're timing out about right here.
Yep, we've got about 5 minutes.
Perfect.
And again, if you enjoyed this, then you can join us in October for Joel's EU class, and you'll get a chance to dig deeper into these practices. But any questions before we close out for the evening?
For the EU course that you'll be teaching, will you be teaching something like a first, third?
No, there's a simplified form is created, I guess, about 20 years ago, called 10-form Tai Chi. It's based on Yang style. There's the traditional Yang style is 108 movements, and even for martial artists, that's a lot. So then, in the mid 1950s, the Chinese government said, "Wow, this stuff's really beneficial, but man, that's a long form." So they got some experts together, a couple of which are in the lineage I fell into. And in 1957, they created the elementary Tai Chi, the simplified Tai Chi. It's 24 steps. And they figured you could learn this in about 20 to 25 study hours, and it'd take about 3 to 6 minutes to perform. So just to make benefits of Tai Chi more accessible to people. Well, that was great until about 20 years ago, people said, "Ooh, 24, ooh, that's a lot. How about 10?" So they made a 10 form, simplified 24 a little bit more, and made a 10 form routine, which is kind of nice because you can do it in a very small area. And so that's the one that I'm going to be teaching. And it's very common. That's another reason I'm picking it, because you can go on YouTube and look up 10 form Tai Chi, and boom, there's some actually good examples of it.
Great. Any other questions?
Will you be going more into the philosophy, so to speak, of Tai Chi during the class?
Yeah, definitely. Teaching the physical movement, and then your intention behind it, and then this type of move, what's a characteristics of Tai Chi movement that makes it unique. So as far as the philosophy, a little bit, and I'm not sure if I'm answering your question correctly. You'll know a lot more about it than when you started. So I try to give you plenty of ideas so you have intention behind your movement. And our general approach to teaching, my grand teachers, is you try to make your students better than you are in a shorter period of time. So try to be as effective as possible in relaying the information. So that's my general approach. Yeah, give you a good foundation, and then if you want to learn more from that, you have a base to go from as well. I'll show how to teach you how to train on your own and still train effectively on your own.
Well, thank you so much for this amazing introduction. I learned a lot. I had no idea that the yin and yang were related to Tai Chi, so that was really interesting. And I think a lot of what you practiced in those movements, I could see, especially when you had us singing, there were definitely some different ways I was using my body, and just the awareness of it. So thank you so much. And again, if you enjoyed this, then September 4th, certainly sign up for EU, and you can join Joel in October for 10 sessions to learn more. And then I will ask your conductors how that maybe benefited you in your rehearsals, or ask you how that may have benefited you in your rehearsals or just in general. So thank you so much for tonight, for taking some time out this evening. Give us about 24 hours if you want to come back and see the recording to get it edited and posted for you. And thank you so much, Joel, for your interest in taking this on. I think this is going to be really beneficial for all of us. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, and thanks everyone for the patience, because it takes work on your part to get some achievement at this. So thank you very much for everyone's time.
All right. Well, have a wonderful evening, everyone. Stay healthy, and we'll see each other soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.